For so many years, whenever people talked about creatives, they talked about Adobe, right? Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, they were almost an unshakable empire. But it seems that now, that throne is starting to wobble significantly. In today's analysis, we will break down the cracks that are appearing in Adobe's empire and explore why the future of design may no longer be in their hands. And there is a statement that I think perfectly sums up the entire issue. Adobe is improving the past, while its competitors are building the future. Adobe's problem is not that they are standing still. They are still moving very fast, but perhaps they are moving in the wrong direction. They are too busy making old things better, while the outside world has already started playing a completely new game. Before we get into the video, if you have any interesting questions or topics, feel free to leave a comment below. And now, let's dive into the article. Alright, so to better understand this story, we will go through 5 main parts. First, we will look back at Adobe's dominant empire. Next are the 3 waves of attack: the collaboration wave, the democratization wave, and the biggest shock of all, called AI. Finally, we will examine the dilemma that this giant is currently facing. Alright, let's begin with part 1. The dominant empire. Wait a second. To understand why they are starting to wobble, we need to go back a bit and remember just how powerful they once were. Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. These are not just software. They are the gold standard of the entire industry, a nearly impenetrable fortress built on complexity and absolute power. And this right here is the seismic shift. Just by looking at these 2 columns, we can clearly see the confrontation. The old era of Adobe on the left is the world of desktop computers, heavy installation files, working alone, and requiring very high skills. But the new era on the right tells a completely different story. Everything is on the cloud, collaboration happens in real time, and AI is at the center. Clearly, the playing field has completely changed. And the first wave of attack came from a company called Figma. Interestingly, they didn't try to create a better version of Photoshop. No, they were smarter than that. They attacked a critical weakness of Adobe. Not what is being created, but how it is created. In the past, the workflow of designers was quite familiar. Finish the work on a computer, save the file, compress it, I send it, and then wait for feedback. Each cycle like that took time, caused interruptions, and made collaboration slow. The work was broken into separate, disconnected steps, with each person handling a different part and lacking direct interaction. This was exactly the weakness that Adobe had not fully addressed. Figma approached the problem in a completely different way. They did not focus on creating more powerful tools, but instead focused on changing how people work together. They turned design into a real-time process, where multiple people can open the same file, edit together, and communicate instantly. This experience is similar to Google Docs, but for design. At that point, barriers such as file versions, back-and-forth sending, or waiting for feedback almost disappeared. Teams became faster, more flexible, and far more efficient. When Adobe realized this threat, they did something very rare. They offered to acquire Figma for around $20 billion, a massive figure that showed they clearly understood they were falling behind. However, the deal was ultimately blocked by regulators in Europe and the UK due to monopoly concerns. And this was the real turning point. You can think of it simply like this. If the deal had gone through, Adobe would have essentially bought the future to protect its position. But when it failed, they not only lost that opportunity, but also had to face a competitor that was growing stronger every single day. Figma continued to develop independently, improve its products, and expand its ecosystem, while Adobe was forced to figure things out on its own to adapt. Alright, if Figma attacked the professional segment, then the second competitor, Canva, took a completely different approach. They did not target professional designers. Their target was hundreds of millions of people who had never thought they could design. Canva does not compete with power, but with simplicity. Their weapon is a concept called commoditization. It may sound complicated, but it is actually very easy to understand. They turn a professional skill, something that once took months or even years to learn, into something that anyone can do with just a few drag-and-drop actions. Canva does not compete with power, but with simplicity. Their weapon is a concept called commoditization. It may sound complicated, but it is actually very easy to understand. They turn a professional skill, something that once took months or even years to learn, into something that anyone can do with just a few drag-and-drop actions. When a high-level skill suddenly becomes as easy as a commodity, the technical fortress that Adobe has built over the years also begins to shake. The figure of 230 million monthly users is what truly stands out. It shows the massive scale of an entirely new market that Canva has created. These are people who previously never even considered using Photoshop, and now they don't need to. They already have a solution that is good enough, fast, and extremely easy to use. And this is the key point. In the past, the barrier to creating a good design was the skill of using the tools. Now, Canva has removed that barrier. The only barrier left is the idea. Take a look at Adobe's business model to see the problem more clearly. They make money from powerful, complex software, and from professional users, those who are willing to pay monthly to get the best tools. But Canva has cut across this path by creating an entirely new layer of users, people who would have never used Adobe before. And as this group keeps growing, it becomes a massive market that Adobe no longer controls. Simply put, if in the past you needed skills to create designs, now you only need ideas. And when the technical barrier disappears, Adobe's advantage gradually weakens. Canva does not directly defeat Adobe in the high-end segment, but quietly takes away their future by turning design into something anyone can do. When skills are no longer an advantage, a large part of Adobe's strength also begins to erode. This not only changes how people design, but also how the market operates. Figma, Canva. That's just the beginning. The real shock, the one that could reshape the entire industry, is this third wave. Artificial intelligence. AI is not just a new tool, it is an entirely new paradigm of how we create. AI does not simply add features, it fundamentally changes how people work. The core difference lies in the approach. On one side, Adobe takes its existing complex software and adds AI into it. This approach is like attaching a jet engine to a horse-drawn carriage. More powerful, faster, but the old structure remains. On the other side, new tools are being built from the ground up with AI at the center. They are not just tools, but entirely new creative systems. Think of it simply like this. Adobe's software is like a complex machine that users have to spend a long time learning to operate. Meanwhile, the new world is moving toward intelligent systems, where users only need to give instructions. The shift from operating tools to commanding systems is a major turning point. In the past, the creative process often started with a blank canvas in Photoshop. Now, it starts with a prompt in mid-journey. AI can generate 80 to 90% of the initial ideas in just a few seconds. This changes Adobe's role. From being the starting point of creation, they are gradually being pushed down to a tool for editing at the end of the process. The role of designers also changes accordingly. They are no longer the ones who draw every detail directly, but become the ones who guide, provide ideas, and direct AI to execute them. In the end, the core value no longer lies in mastering complex tools, but in vision and the ability to express ideas. When the rules of the game change, the competitive advantages must change as well. Finally, they have changed, but too slowly. You can clearly see that Adobe has not stood still in the face of the AI wave. They launched Adobe Firefly to create images using artificial intelligence, integrated AI into a range of products like Photoshop and Premiere, and developed Adobe Express to compete directly with Canva. On the surface, this seems like a very reasonable strategy. Maintain the old ecosystem while adding AI so as not to fall behind. But if you look deeper, you'll see the problem lies in their approach. Adobe is adding AI to old products rather than rebuilding products from the ground up centered around AI. This difference may sound small, but it is actually very significant. When you add AI to an old system, you still keep the old workflow. Open files, edit, and perform step-by-step actions. AI just helps you do things a little faster. But in the new world, AI is not just a supporting tool. It is the center of the entire process. Platforms like Figma, when combined with AI, are creating a completely different workflow, one where you can collaborate, edit, and produce output almost instantly without going through the traditional step-by-step process. In fact, many new AI tools even allow you to create complete designs without using Adobe from the start. According to recent analyses, Adobe is under significant pressure from AI-native competitors, as users increasingly switch to simpler and faster tools. This shows that the problem is not whether Adobe has AI, but whether the way they implement AI aligns with the future. You can understand it simply like this. If in the past, Adobe built complex machines for you to operate, now the world is moving toward automated systems where you only need to give commands. And once users become accustomed to this new way of working, they will not want to go back to the old way. This is why, even though Adobe is reacting quickly, they are still at risk of being seen as slow. Ultimately, the biggest problem is not technology, but mindset. Adobe is still improving the past, while competitors are building the future. And in a race where the rules have changed, going in the right direction matters far more than going fast. So, after all these waves of disruption, where does Adobe stand? This brings us to the final part, the dilemma of a giant. This is the central argument. Adobe's problem is not really about technology. They have AI and their Firefly is very powerful. The problem lies in legacy thinking. Their entire structure, product philosophy, and business model were built for the old era. This makes them like a massive aircraft carrier, very hard to maneuver in an AI-native, flexible, and fast-moving world. From my perspective, Adobe is gradually losing its edge because it is stuck in the old model. Tools like Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator were once the standard, but the
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel. Bye bye.